So hello everyone. I am Subham. I am a Microsoft certified and Google certified web developer, having more than 5 years of experience in web development. So I will be guiding you through the complete UI and UX development for this whole complete session. I will be there for your trainer. So before starting all this, let's learn about what is our UI and what is UX. Okay, so basically the UI here stands for user interface. Okay, user interface, and some other names of user interface are GUI. GUI stands for graphical user interface. Then another one is UX. UX stands for user experience. Then UI, user interface again, and front end. Front end here means whatever we see, whatever we interact with, that is called front end. So here all these things we are going to learn in this thing. So by default, why question will arise, why we want to learn the UI, why UI come to picture. So let's give me a demo. So I will explain you why the UI is introduced in this market. So basically two person are communicating with one another. So by the technology, there is our language. So with our language, two person communicating with each other. Similarly, this is my machine, this is my laptop, so I can communicate with the laptop with the technology UI. So any machine is having UI technology, then a person can communicate with that machine. So that's the concept here. So a human being can communicate with a machine by the help of UI.
You should know that a machine only understands binary language. Okay, and we understand our own language. To make our machine understand our own language, we have some way of communication. So way of communication, first one is message. So the message, if you want to write our own message in our own field, we can write that message, and the message will be understood by the machine and other user who use the particular application. This is first way of communication, that is message.
With the help of image, we communicate with the machine. How? Let me give an example. So the example is, let's search for Google, and the search term is dog. So in Google, we will find some dog image. By looking onto that dog image, we can find out this, the color of the dog is this, the size of this. So we got some information through by viewing the image. So this is another way of communication. So graphical design, form, button, and other UI components are there to communicate with a human being with a machine. So these are the typical communication method by the help of a human being communicate with a machine. So mainly three types of UI present in the uh, market. So one is operating system, second is customer device, and third one is website. So operating system, what is operating system? Operating system is a software that is installed over any device. So let me give an example. You are purchasing any laptop. So by default there will be no operating system. The laptop that is there after manufacturing will be only on command prompt. So there is no operating system on that laptop. Then we cannot find any folder, cannot find any file. So we cannot, at that condition, we cannot interact with the operating system. So then after installing the operating system, let's say we have installed a Windows operating system or Linux operating system, then we can see and view all the files, and we can browse the internet, and we can use that machine. So this is the first one of UI, that is operating system. The next one is customer device. So customer device, let's say an example, ATM machine. So in ATM machine, what we generally do, we do some transaction, we withdraw cash or we do deposit cash by uh, using the UI. How? So we go to the ATM machine, we input our data, we input our card, and after validation our transaction is done. So this is also how we did that. We have input the value through either buttons or either touch screen of that UI. Next one is website. So website is wholly dependent on web application. So in this technology, both website and web application we can develop. So for we in this particular course, we will mainly focus on website. So let me give some example of website. So this is Bank of America. There is some online transaction is also online banking system also available for Bank of America. So we at any condition we need some transaction, we need some transfer of amount, then we don't need to go to the Bank of America again and again. We can do the same thing on our PC or on our mobile with the help of internet banking. So how the internet banking is possible? With the help of a website. So we are completely focused on this course, how to make a website, how to make a web application. So for the definition, the front-end web development, front-end, as I said earlier, front-end means the development, the technology that we can see and interact. So whatever we see, that is called front end. Whatever we don't see, that is present, that is called a back end. So the communication method of a human being with a machine using the languages, using the technology HTML, CSS and JavaScript is called web development. Okay, web development or web design.
Alright, to create any application, first we have to learn about the web architecture. First is our client side, then server side, then database. Client is our own browser device and we ourselves are client. Server is relocated into outside place and server is in outside, and after that our database is also located outside with the server itself. Database all kind of a data management thing. Every data is present in database. Server is due to the service and the logical service, logical thing it applies on the server, and the client reflect the server that server processed, client reflects back, right? So to give a quick example, we have a Facebook login page. Whenever you go to Facebook, you enter facebook.com in your browser. In that browser, what you do after you log in into your Facebook login page, you put your login information, email ID and password. Then you click login button. After the login button is being clicked, the client side, the data from client side goes to server. Server process it and server connects to the database. Ask the database whether the information provided by the user, whether it is available in the database or not. Then the database respond to server, server respond to client. If the data is present in the server, then server reflect back to the client. If it is not present, then server do what thing? Server do that yes, username or password is wrong. Okay, so this is the common example. Server is do the logical operation and database present all the data. So your data of Facebook, your newsfeed of Facebook may be different from my newsfeed of Facebook. That means for every user database is different. So what technology for web we want? We have this much of technology in the web. First is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, PHP.NET, Java, Oracle, MySQL. HTML, CSS and JavaScript are the server side, are the client side language. Okay, HTML, CSS and JavaScript are the client side language. We are focusing on this language. You can say these are the front end language. Only learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript, we can create a web page, a website and web application. That will be completely dependent on the client side. Okay, these three are on the client side. Coming on to the server side, PHP.NET and Angular are the server side, only for the server side language. Okay, we can term these as backend language present on the server. Okay, then after our MySQL and Oracle are the database present only the data here. So these are the common database language. So to grow a full web developer, you have to learn all this, but in this technology we are focusing on learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, TypeScript, Angularjs. Okay, so now let me introduce each technology. What a HTML is. HTML is a programming language, hypertext markup language. It is the full form of HTML. Okay, HTML is there to make a web page, a layout, okay, a frame of a web page, okay, a structure of a web page. HTML. Latest version of HTML is 5, HTML5. Whenever we create any application, first we have to make a layout of that application. If we are making a house, first we have to make a structure of that house. Similarly, for any web page, web application, the structure is being made with the HTML. Next comes CSS. CSS stands our cascading style sheet. Cascading style sheet, as the name suggests, cascading style sheet, it is the styling element for HTML. You make a layout of application in HTML, you design that layout using CSS. Latest version is CSS3. It is cascading style sheet used for styling purpose of the web page. Only HTML may not look good if you add HTML with CSS. If you add CSS with HTML, the whole application will look. Okay, so together we can design a web page using HTML and CSS. That will be termed as a static web page. Static web page means whenever you create one web page, if you refresh that today, the web page looks like this. If you refresh it tomorrow, the web page looks like this. If you refresh the web page day after tomorrow, same, the web page look like this. But now comes JavaScript. Adding JavaScript into the web page, it makes dynamic. How? Adding JavaScript with the web page, it makes dynamic. JavaScript is a dynamic tool. Okay, dynamic tool, we can say it is dynamic client side scripting language. Adding JavaScript with HTML and CSS, you can make a web page, web application dynamic. Okay, only HTML, CSS are static web page. If you add JavaScript with that, it will be termed as dynamic web page. The next one is jQuery. jQuery is the extension version or advanced version of JavaScript. Okay, in jQuery plenty of library are available. Same thing, for example, if we are making a button clickable event in JavaScript, if we require 20 lines of code, same thing we can do with the help of jQuery in 2 lines of code. Okay, jQuery is the dynamic, jQuery is the also adds dynamic functionality to the web page. So in jQuery you can do the same kind of thing what you do in JavaScript. A advanced version of JavaScript, plenty of library are there. Library here is plenty of codes are already there in jQuery saved with us. We just need to call that method, call that event, and the task will be done. So here jQuery adds the easier functionality with the JavaScript. So plenty of coders are nowadays, instead of using JavaScript, they are using jQuery due to its simplicity. Okay, simplicity and less number of codes. Got my point, guys? So by adding HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or by adding HTML, CSS, jQuery, we make a web page dynamic. In the common example of dynamic web page is our YouTube. When you go to YouTube page, you refresh, you see one content. When you refresh it tomorrow, you see another content. When you refresh it day after tomorrow, you also see the another type of content. That means it is easily understand that jQuery or JavaScript is being used in YouTube, and it makes the YouTube dynamic. Got my point, guys? Now it is Bootstrap. Bootstrap is the extension of CSS. Like jQuery, Bootstrap have already written codes available with CSS, like library or classes with CSS attribute are already written. So whatever you do in CSS, you can do it in Bootstrap. So Bootstrap you can do it with less number of code, and Bootstrap add responsive functionality to the web page. Responsive functionality here means nowadays we are using the same application in our mobile, in our iPad, in our tablet, in our PC, and in our TV. Right? We are using same application. But days back, only application are used in PC or desktop. So they, in that condition, they don't require a responsive opportunity. But nowadays we are using our application in plenty of devices. So we want our application to run on every device. So Bootstrap add the responsive functionality. According to this screen size, the content will be adjusted. That how this is done? This is done by using Bootstrap. The next technology is our TypeScript. TypeScript add a scripting language. Okay, TypeScript, whenever right now we are learning about web design or web development. Think of, guys, after you, if after some year you want to make a career shift to Android, okay, or to career shift to any other platform, at that condition TypeScript is very much required to learn. Okay, whether it is required here or not, but that is required for your future, and this is TypeScript is also booming. TypeScript and Angularjs is booming. To talk about Angularjs, what is Angularjs? Future is very good in Angularjs. Angularjs is the extension or advanced version of JavaScript. Here the JavaScript is modularized into MVC framework. The file structure are arranged into the MVC framework. MVC stands here model, V for view, C for controller. The same JavaScript code we can arrange with MVC, model view controller. Big corporate companies are using AngularJS for this MVC framework only. Okay, in AngularJS two-way data binding is possible. Two-way data binding means, let me give you a quick example. We have two water tank, and if I connect the two water tank in with a pipe, and the pipe is connected in below. So when you full one tank, the another tank will be filled. When you reduce water from one tank, the another will be filled. So this is the common example of two-way data binding. So in AngularJS, the future is that you have MVC framework. In MVC framework, big companies use this, and it is helpful for their application structure. So it's all about AngularJS.
So we will focus on to all the technology detailing, and we will learn, and this is the easiest technology all over the world. UI technology is the easiest technology. With the help of one technology, we are learning several types of technology here. So apart from this course, what else we can learn in this course? So every time, every course that I take, I term that course as a zero to hero session, right? So in this technology, many candidate may not be familiar with the technology. They are at a zero condition, and after the completion of the session, they will be hero in this technology. So I term the classes of mine as zero to hero. So apart from all the technology, learning from all the technology, what extra we get job support. Okay, we get a resume building. Okay, so every technology, how resume building we get? So every technology we study, like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. After studying HTML, we will do some mini project. After learning CSS, we will do the mini project with HTML, CSS. Similarly, after completing all technology, we will do some mini project. After completion of the project, okay, we will do an task, online task, that is called online resume. So that will be very good for candidates to get job all over the world if you show your online resume to a company. Okay, so all these things, and the main important point, after learning, after every class, I will be clearing your doubt. So every session, first 5 minutes will be the doubt clearing classes. Okay, so whatever doubt you have, we will be clearing onto that time. After the doubt clear of previous session, we can continue for the next session. Next, HTML. What is HTML here? As I told you, HTML is white background, text written onto the white background. So the completely this type of look feel is having with HTML. So whenever you add CSS with HTML, see, we can design the things. We can add border color, we can add background color, and this one looks nice according to me. Compared to this one looks nice. How we do the styling element with the help of CSS? On not only with CSS, HTML with CSS, we can do the styling. So only HTML look like this, and after adding CSS, this look like this. So next we will learn what tool we will be using in the whole course. So in this course, we will use Notepad, Sublime Text, Dreamweaver, Notepad++, and Visual Studio. Don't think that we will use all the tool present here. So let me explain you each one. Notepad is the older version. So before 5-10 years, people developers are using Notepad and Notepad++. So these are the old type of tools. Okay, now comes Sublime Text, Dreamweaver, and Visual Studio. These three are the latest technology, and we can use any of them. Any of them you can use. Now coming on to the Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is the product of Adobe. Okay, Dreamweaver is a product company, and the average size of Dreamweaver is somehow around 2 or 3 GB of space. And whenever you want to use Dreamweaver, you have to purchase a license from Adobe. So we can term as this is a paid tool. Next one is Visual Studio. Visual Studio is a product of Microsoft. Again, this is similar as Dreamweaver, right? Next, it is the average size is 3 to 5 GB of Visual Studio. So again, whenever you want to use Visual Studio, you have to purchase a license from Microsoft to use Visual Studio. The last one that is present, Sublime Text. We in this tool, I recommend you to use Sublime Text, and the Sublime Text is free version, open source free version. Open source means any developer can use, modify the application. Okay, open source and free version. So for learning technology, Sublime Text is pretty much a good choice for us, and plenty of developers, maximum developers around the globe using Sublime Text for their development work. So let me explain some benefit of using Sublime Text. It is very lightweight version of application, less than 10 MB of space, very lightweight, and it gives you suggestion regarding the future codes that we are writing. So every time we use any tool, let's focus on the Sublime Text. However, we can use Dreamweaver and Visual Studio also. Next, so from beginning we will start HTML. After completion of HTML, we will learn CSS, then JavaScript, Bootstrap, and going on we will complete the syllabus. So in HTML, what are we learning? So generally we don't know any HTML things. So in HTML we will make a page, we will make a head, we will make some forms. Okay, we will make some layouts in that HTML. So before going into deep, I will explain. I will open my Sublime Text, and before opening Sublime Text for user, if any of user that those don't have familiar with the, let me give you. Okay, so now those who don't have familiar with using Sublime Text, you go to Google and download you search for Sublime like this, Sublime Editor download. Okay, Sublime Editor download, and this is the official site. sublimetext.com is the official site. You click there, and according to your system version, whether you are using Mac OS, whether you are using Windows or any other application, you can go to the download section and choose download according to your operating system. Okay, so as I have Sublime Text installed onto my PC, so I don't need to download right now. So let me open quickly the Sublime Editor. So this is for the demo class. I will explain very briefly, very easy technology as I told you. Let me explain. So I have created a new file, and I will save the new file onto my desktop, and file name, let me give that demo.html. So I have created a new file name is demo.html. So in the demo.html, I will explain you how easy the technology, how easy the web development technology present. Okay, so just we have the tool called Sublime Editor. We don't need to worry about any code, any remembering technology, etc., etc. How? Just press less than symbol, then press H T. Okay, H T, and my suggestion is given. HTML suggestion is given. Okay, just press enter. Okay, so this is the common syntax for HTML. This is the common syntax for HTML. I will explain all the term of the syntax in our proceeding sessions. Okay, this is the common syntax of HTML. Very easy. So inside the HTML, okay, inside HTML, I will write some text. Okay, write some text. So again, let me explain. Less than symbol, P, and enter. Okay, less than symbol, P, enter. So this is a P tag open, P tag close. I will explain all the thing. Okay, P tag open, P tag close, and whatever we write inside, that is a paragraph. Whatever we write inside, that is a paragraph. So let me write some text here. So I have written some demo text. So this is all. Our HTML is complete. Our first web page is complete. Very easy. You can turn. Okay. So let me open the output. I have saved it onto my desktop. So in my desktop, my output is ready. So this is my first web page. I am happy to use the technology. Where I have written this thing in my file. Okay, demo.html file. Very easy in terms of technology. Okay, so this is the basic syntax of HTML. This is how easy the HTML is. And as I told you, HTML is black text over white background. So let me add some CSS. Over that, and let's see how easy the CSS is also, and how only HTML, how the HTML with CSS differ with one another. So again, I will copy this. Very easy. Copy this, paste this. Okay, I will separate this using some HR tag. Okay, so now you can see this is my HTML. This is also my HTML, and the HR means HR. The HR here means horizontal row. I will explain all the tag detailedly in our HTML sessions. So onto the horizontal row. Before the horizontal row, there is a line present. After the horizontal row, there is a line present. Now onto the second line, I will add some CSS. Only write style, then change color, change font size, then make it 30 px. Okay, change color from the black. I want to put some color like green. Okay, then refresh, check this. See, this is our only HTML, and here I have added the CSS, and this looks good. And let me add some other CSS here also to make it look more good. Font weight bold. It will make the content look bolder, right? So see here, comparison is this. Okay, this is only HTML, this is HTML with CSS. So again, I want to change the font style. So I want to change, so font family sans serif. Okay, font family serif, refresh, and the font family is also changed. Sans serif, this changed, the font family changed. So all the technology HTML and CSS you see here, only with the help of whatever we write here, only from line to 7 to line 11 we have just written, and the thing we can do the fast web page of our, right? So very easy technology. We hope to see you soon, and this is the over of the demo class. We hope to see you soon. We will continue the class from starting with HTML. Thank you all.